Okay, what up ladies and gents, it's your favorite Asian robot right here, hopefully your favorite official content creator for the First Descendant, and today, what I'm gonna do is produce the ultimate beginner's guide to show you guys how you can get through normal mode and all that kind of stuff, because a lot of people, when they come to my stream, they say, you know, I'm kind of stuck, I'm feeling like, you know, as a beginner in this game, I'm lost. They don't know what to do, what modules they should look at, what external components they should look at. Like, it's easy to feel overwhelmed when you're new to the game. So what I'm gonna do is, in this guide, it's gonna be a bit long, but I'm gonna go step by step on what are the most important weapon components, and of course I'll demonstrate that. Then I'll show you guys what are the most important survival modules for your descendants, external components, reactors, all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna show everything to you guys and explain how you as a beginner with any descendant, now we're going to use Blair for this demonstration, but you don't need Blair for this demonstration. This will work with any descendant. It doesn't matter who you picked as your starter. It doesn't matter if it's Ajax, Viessa, Lepic, does not matter. Okay, we're using Blair as a demonstration because he's one of my few descendants that I haven't invested in yet. Okay, we're going to use him, but it doesn't matter what descendant you start this on. All right, so without further ado, let's get into the guide. Excuse any coughing along the way. But before we go on, if you haven't already chosen a content creator, please do register me as your content creator. Link is in the top of the video description. All right, it's free to do so. I'd be grateful for the support. Okay, let's get started. First, let's go through the most important weapon modules. Now, I actually went and farmed level 52 weapons just to do this for you guys. My external components and my reactor will remain at 100, but we will not use them for this demonstration. The most important weapon modules that you guys are going to need when you are starting in the game are just these three: rifling reinforcement, weak point sight, and all of the elemental enhancements. All right, electric enhancement, toxic enhancement, basically enhancements in general. You're gonna need one of each. All right, chill, toxic, electric, and fire. Fire is only used for Dead Bride in the normal mode, but eventually you want to invest in it as well. The basic idea is that with just these three modules, these are the three most important weapon modules, you can deal enough damage to most bosses to get through them. Your weapon level is going to matter as well, but I'm going to demonstrate how these three modules can get you through the Devourer fight. So the Devourer is level 54, these guns are about level 52, alright? My survival will be off the charts, obviously, because I've got level 100 survival gear, but I will showcase the survival section separately. Just take note that for weapons, now you don't have to have them upgraded all the way, but I'll show you the effect of having all these upgraded all the way in how easily we kill the Devourer, all right? The crucial key, excuse me, the crucial key to all of this is just making sure that you have these three as upgraded as possible. Upgrade vertically, do not try and add horizontally, all right? Adding other stuff horizontally, and I learned this as I moved into hard mode and stuff like that. Sure, you could add, like, I could throw in something like aiming compensation or whatever if I really wanted to, but all of this is just side stuff. The most important thing is to have these three up all the way. Now, just before we go into the actual combat demonstration, a lot of people have asked, why not action and reaction? Okay, because action and reaction for some of these weapons are difficult to farm before the fights. So if you... Now, I have a guide saying how to find and farm anything in the game. Access info is a tab that'll teach you where to find and farm anything. If we look at action and reaction, let's just say for special rounds, most of this is obtained in Fortress, so you won't have this at the time of Devourer, but you will have electric enhancement for special rounds before you fight Devourer. You see how that works? So going with just rifling reinforcement is not going to actually help you win. You need weak point sight. So this is why action and reaction is something that people add much later on once they get into hard mode. All right. So for the basics, rifling reinforcement, weak point sight, and the element that counters your enemy. All right. So in this case, how do I know that electric enhancement is going to counter Devourer? If you do not know what element your enemy is or what element you need, all you got to do is go to the enemy in question. It'll tell you their attack attribute, which is toxic in this case, and it'll say they're very weak to electric. So you just want to put electric enhancement on your weapons. All right. As a general rule of thumb, enemies that are toxic are weak against electric. Enemies that are electric are weak against toxic. Enemies that are fire are weak against chill. Enemies that are chill are weak against fire. Okay? There you go. knowing their attack element means you can always have an elemental advantage. All right, now let's get started. I will just go into a private run with Blair. Again, this entire thing is going to go through without any editing, because if I edit, then you guys might feel like I've chopped and changed things. We're not going to do that. We're just going to show it to you legit. Go in, do it, clear, and then we're going to move on. All right. After this, we're going to talk about survival. So this is a demonstration of the weapon modules. Again, you know, just so you know, there's no hanky-panky. I've done the same thing on my immediate execution and here on my detachment. We're not going to use any skills for this fight because that would be unfair. All right, so we're not going to use any skills, and we're not going to use our third weapon, which is a level 100 weapon. I'm just keeping it there as an extra, okay? Do not pay attention to my survival because I've got 13,000 hit points thanks to my level 100 components. All I need you to pay attention to is how much damage I'm dealing, all right? I will show you how to survive easily in a later section, but basically, with just this immediate execution, all right, I didn't even have gold rolls on this thing, all right? If you want to see my rolls, I can show you after, but basically, I do not have any specialized gold rolls or anything. No god rolls, no special additions to this weapon. I'm just going to make sure to Steve scan the bosses, by the way, so you know, okay, ran out of ammo for that. I'm gonna start firing with attack rifle instead. Remember to kill minions. Now, in keeping with our rule, we're not gonna actually use anything other than attack rifle and immediate execution. So, ow. Aha. Might take a lozenge after this so I don't destroy your ears. Okay, he's going into angry mode. Now, when he is actually enraged, what you got to do is break these real quick, right? So we're going to do that with the immediate execution. One down. Like I said, normally you'd be able to use your skills and whatnot to help you out with this, but for this demonstration, we're going to ensure that we do this solely with our two guns. Nothing else other than that. If you do it fast enough, he will not heal. So you can immediately start wasting him again after, okay? Even after you destroy a point, it remains a weak spot, so the yellow damage numbers that you're seeing is weak spot damage, so that's exactly what's going on. Oof. Use the attack rifle for a bit. The spot remains a weak point. Alright, he's almost done. Okay, there we go, he's done. Even in a situation where you are restricted, as long as you've got those three modules, you'll be okay. This is why these are the most important weapon modules in the game. I'll choose something random and throw it open. Okay. Now let's not waste your time and let's get back to town. Now I'm going to talk about what are the most important modules for your Descendant. Okay, for your Descendant, you gotta know what are the most crucial modules. You already understand what are the best weapon modules. Now for your Descendant. Let's take a look. Alright? Without wasting any time, there are a few modules that are absolutely crucial for your Descendant. Okay? This is very important at the start of the game. Now, oops. Meant to remove my cam there. Okay. Increased hit points is crucial. As high as you can go. The more hit points you have, the better. Hit points are worth a lot more than defense. Alright? You don't even need resistance. I know that for a lot of the early game guides, I talked about elemental resistance, but this is really not necessary. Okay? Increased hit points is all you need. Then you will need either Iron Defense or Spear and Shield. If you want to know which to choose, then take a look at my video about skill power versus skill power modifier. If the character does damage over time, such as Blair, alright, and their skill power modifier, which is skill power times 44.3%, you see that? That 44.3% is the skill power modifier. If the skill power modifier is below 160%, choose Iron Defense. It'll help you more, okay? If the skill power modifier is above 160%, then that is when you will choose Spear and Shield. So if your character was Lepic, you would choose Spear and Shield. Increased hit points, Iron Defense, Spear and Shield are the most crucial Descendant modules in this game. Alright? As long as you have those, you will never lose any fight. Other than that, you need to know the element of your character. Once you know the element of your character, then, and of course the elemental type, so for example, this skill is a fire dimension, you do the same thing. You put on focus on fire, focus on dimension. Alright? These are usually the best for early game. The last will be your utility module. If your character needs a lot of range, put skill expansion. If your character needs a lot of duration, then you put on, for example, skill extension. Alright? But again, the most crucial thing, alright, are 3 modules. Increase HP, Iron Defense, or Spear and Shield. Okay? It's either or. You can't put them on both at the same time. Okay? That's it. This is all you need to know for Descendant modules. But we need to test it, right? We need to test it. So let's equip Blair with some actual weapons. So we'll just do something like that. Okay, we're gonna put on some actual weapons onto him. Now, in terms of your external components, I'll go through this in the section right after this. But basically, for your external components, you want to have as much hit points as possible. Hit points, defense, and hit points. Why is it like that? I'll explain it after. For reactor, please make sure you watch my video on reactors. I have a separate video about reactors that you can watch. If you need help finding it, just ask in the comments of this video. I will happily link you to my reactor video. Okay? Alright, let's get started. Now, I'm just going to take this guy into a hard mode boss fight.
Are you ready to undertake a Void Intercept battle assignment?
Executioner, private. Alright. As long as you've got those modules that I'm showing you. Now, this is a hard mode boss fight. The Executioner is level 102. As long as you've got the modules that I've showed you, you will be okay. You will actually be able to tank most hits, even though, in case you hadn't noticed, Blair's mod capacity was 60. He does not have any energy activator. He does not have anything special. Alright, while we wait to enter the match. Once again, no energy activator, no crystallization catalyst. This is just the default Blair. Alright? But as long as you have this stuff, you'll be able to tank most bosses. And that's the crucial key. Survival, being able to survive, begins with having increased hit points and, of course, good defense. How much defense do you need? 16,000. 16,000 gives you roughly 30% damage reduction. You don't need to go further than that. Going further requires you to go to I think about 32,000 to get about 40% damage reduction. It's not easy. So usually we just sit at 16,000. That's good enough. And again, when I go through the external components after this, I'll show you guys exactly how to get the mystical 16,000 defense. Okay, this is a hard mode executioner, so don't expect the fight to go as fast. However, I do have some tricked out weapons, so... By the way, this Greg's Reverse Fate isn't fully leveled up at all, so do look forward to it. Oh man, that messed up. Okay. Ow. please remember to actually dodge attacks. But as you can see, for the most part, even though I'm solo and the boss is focusing all attacks on me, it doesn't really hurt me all that much. Alright. Okay. Oh man, what an unfortunate situation. Here's another little tip. Did you know that you can move faster by hip firing? You'll be less accurate, but you can move a hell of a lot faster. ADSing slows you down. ADS meaning aim down sights. So try to move. If you want to go fast, you can just aim hip fire instead. Like I said, my apologies though, this fight won't go so fast because I'm restricting myself to just using the basics. So for that, yeah, my apologies. Aha. Always gotta kill the minions. Now as for his enrage mode, you know, when he's frenzied, you can just basically ignore him. You don't have to actually go for the attacks. I would usually go for the minions. As you can see, just the basic survival mods are enough for the easiest hard mode boss fight. It's perfect for getting your feet wet and getting to start your hard mode boss fights. Whoop. Did that work? Okay, there we go. That was a little wild, wasn't it? Let's give him a little fire, and we'll carry on. Okay. Ow. If you do need healing, just pick up some health drops on the ground. You should be alright. Now he'll probably go immune one more time. As you can see, survival will not be an issue as long as you've got these mods. It is very easy to survive most situations, whether it's hard mode, normal mode, whatever. As long as you have increased hit points and enough defense, you'll be alright. Again, how do you get the stats you need will be covered in the next section where I talk about external components. Oh. And there you go. Hard mode executioner is down. Alright. Granted, I do have builds that could do that a lot faster, but the point of the demonstration is not to absolutely destroy him with stuff that you can't even obtain before hard mode, right? So, if you're a beginner, alright, looking to get into this, I do have a guide for the hard mode executioner, but what you'll find in that guide is that the modules that I'm using for survival are exactly the same. There's no difference whatsoever. All right. And because there's no difference, it's very easy to just go in and have a good time. Ah, getting another crystallization catalyst blueprint. Okay, now you understand all about my excuse me. Now you understand all about my external my survival modules. All right, we've gone over the weapon mods, we've gone over the descendant mods. Now it's time for me to go over the external components. In order to get the hit points you need to survive and the defense you need to survive, what you are going to need is external components. So, what are external components? There are 4 external components that you will find during your journey in this game. I'm going to remove my camera now. The first and most crucial important external component is called the support auxiliary power. If you get the HP version, take note, the base stat on this one will increase max hit points, and then you can have a gold roll of increased max hit points. So you want to try and farm an auxiliary power that has double HP roll, as we call it, and a module drop rate increase modifier. This helps you get more modules as you kill monsters. So as you kill monsters, right, their chances of dropping modules that you need, or even just spare modules so you can dismantle, will increase by about, this one is a gold roll, 19% at level 100. So this is the kind of auxiliary power you want. For your sensor, you can get a max HP roll, max MP roll, and a consumable drop rate increase modifier. Consumable drop rate increase modifier is really excellent for getting precision code breakers, all these kinds of consumables. All right. This is why a lot of people will get the consumable drop rate increase modifier, because this thing is super helpful. Another role that you can go for is MP recovery in combat. All right. Especially if you're facing off against Colossi and things like that, MP recovery in combat can be extremely useful. All right. But for most of my farming needs, I go for consumable drop rate increase modifier. Now, for your defense support memory, this is another one. This one, you go for the defense roll. If you have a defense roll and another gold defense roll, what's going to happen? And of course, the last one, you should try and go for gold drop rate modifier increase. Okay. But if you manage to get a double defense roll on this thing, your defenses with just iron defense or spear and shield will easily exceed 16,000. All right. This is the crucial key. Once you are able to exceed 16,000, anything extra is just a little more protection. So 16,000 is the amount of defense that we normally go for, and you can achieve it just by having a defense support memory. Once you've got this, you are good to go. You are sweet, you are settled. So all these components, notice max HP, defense here. The last one is a sensor. This one you also go for max HP and max shield, all right, with an equipment drop rate increase modifier. Equipment drop rate increase modifier affects most types of equipment that is on your character or whatever, all right? So this is crucial. However, there are other roles that you can put on this as well. Instead of just max shield, you can also have shield recovery modifier, which can help characters that need to recover their shields. There is also item acquisition distance, which helps you pick up items from a greater distance. And that is about it. So these are the most worthy roles for this thing. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else. I think it's mostly shield recovery modifier. If you're going for like hardcore combat, shield recovery modifier is probably crucial, along with a max shield roll. All right. But if your character doesn't use shields like Glay, you'll have to go for something else. So you can go for toxin resistance, equipment drop rate, whatever. The world is your oyster there. But basically, ideal role would be max shield and shield recovery modifier for those going for pure defense, or equipment drop rate if you're farming, and max shield is good enough. All right. That covers the external components. External components are crucial for your base stats because without them, your modules have nothing to function off. All right, you are not going to have if I didn't have these external components all giving me hit points, then even if I put on increased hit points and it's maxed out, I'm not going to get very many hit points, and that's kind of the problem. As you go through the game, all right, please try and farm as many external components with the right roles as you can, and you'll be able to go through most of the boss fights. All right. When I initially made most of the videos, unfortunately, they covered defense instead of max hit points. Why was that the case? Because initially we thought defense had a lot more value than hit points. This was actually incorrect. Later down the line, it was discovered that hit points are worth way more than defense is worth. I have a video, basically showing this, but the video is called HP versus defense. You can go check it out in my playlist. But the basic idea is that if you have defense has diminishing returns. As you go up in defense, it gets harder and harder to get, because defense decreases a percentage of the enemy's damage, right? This gets harder and harder to achieve. You can actually watch that video for the full thing, but just to give you an idea, 16,000 is roughly 30% damage reduction, whereas 32,000 is roughly 40% damage reduction. You have to get another 16,000 defense just to get another 10% damage reduction. That's a lot. That's a lot, and it's pretty difficult to do. Whereas if you just stock up on hit points, you could easily double your hit point count without even worrying about your defense, and boom, you'll just be able to tank through. You'll literally just be able to sleepwalk through most things because the enemies are not going to be hurting you very much. All right, so this is where hit points has a lot of value. Okay, that covers it for external components. Now for the reactor, I have an entire video on this, like I said, but the most important thing is to match your character's element and their skill type. As I've shown you before, Blair is a fire dimension type character, so I go for fire dimension. Kind of like that, all right? And you need to have the optimization condition. But again, I highly recommend you watch my video on reactors so that you get an idea of what is necessary, all right? That is it. This is all you are going to need to clear the normal mode. I know for most of us pros, we call the normal mode the tutorial, but that's exactly why it is a tutorial. It is designed to teach you the basics, and you only need the basics to get through it. You don't need to invest heavily in any characters. You don't need any special crystallization catalysts. You don't even need to start using your energy activators until hard mode. So the normal mode is just to get your feet wet, all right? And here is a quick summary of everything you need to know in one shot, all right? When it comes to your weapons, all right, we'll just use this one that I had an example. There are 3 modules that are the most important: rifling reinforcement, weak point sight, and electrical, and the elemental enhancement, all right? There are 4 types of elements. Remember, chill, toxic, fire, electric. What you need to know is which one to use against your opponent. How do you know which one to use? Quick summary again. Toxic beats electric, electric beats toxic. Chill beats fire, fire beats chill. There you go. All right. But as I've shown you in the demonstration section, you can always investigate at the actual page of the Colossi or whatever. All right. So that about summarizes it for the weapon modules. Now, for the Descendant modules, the most important thing is increase hit points, iron defense, and spear and shield. All right. One is to increase your defense, one is to increase your hit points. These 2 are the most crucial things you will ever need. The rest is just gravy. The rest is usually offense focused based on your Descendant's element. Once again, if your Descendant's fire element, focus on fire. Your Descendant uses dimension, focus on dimension. Your Descendant needs range or whatever, you can have 1 utility mod. That's it. Okay? That's it. These are the most crucial modules for beginners. Now, for your external components, please remember, hit points, double roll on your auxiliary support. Hit points, max MP on your support sensor. Hit points, defense, double roll on your support memory. And lastly, your support processor, hit points, and max shield. All right? This will get you through pretty much everything. And that is everything summarized in one quick shot. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope you guys will enjoy my content. If you like my stuff, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, okay? Make sure you support the channel by registering as a supporter. And of course, if you would like to, you can support the channel in additional ways. Here are the top supporters for August right now. Top tipper is Luke Greenfield. Top super chatter is RR Odyssey, Sebastian LeChance, George Tishon, TX Panda King, Sir Tommy Gunn, CU Yuri, Death Donnie 92, I3XO, Atomic John B, Ted Wu, Phil the Megapine, BVS Fang. Top channel membership gifter is TX Panda King. Thank you so much for all you guys do for me. All right. And also to thank our top tier channel members. If you want to get on this list, by the way, all you got to do is drop a massive super chat on me. All right. And you'll be in the list. These are our top supporters this month. And now for our top channel members, these are the guys that are committed monthly and they're amazing. All right. Here they are. Princess Star, Track Hoodie, Arcane Silver, Death Donnie 92 at Plus Ultra, George Tishon, BVS Fang, I3XO, and Nisk at the Only Fan level. Thank you guys so much for all you do for me. I hope you guys will continue to support me, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Like, share, subscribe, enjoy yourself, and I hope this helps you get through the game. See you guys in hard mode.